Hello TikTokers, I am the Christian Relationship Counsellor, and sometimes I'm more excited about videos than others, and that's because when I read the word it resonates with me and I feel as though I've got it. Now this particular chapter I had two kind of trains of thought, so I've called it part 1 and part 2, and it's based on the same scripture, which is Matthew 16:21. So I'm going to read it, so forgive me for looking upwards. Why did Jesus ignore someone who begged for help? We are told, ask and it shall be given. Yet the Gentile woman pleaded for Jesus. Let me take it down and put it here. It's a bit better, isn't it? Yet a Gentile woman pleaded for Jesus to get rid of the demon inside her daughter. But instead of honouring her request, Jesus ignored her, and that's in Matthew 16:21. He discriminated against her because she was non-Jewish. Jesus said, I was sent only to help God's lost sheep, the people of Israel. Now, we hear about discrimination all the time, and we really try to cut it out. You know, we have legislation and laws about discrimination. Yet if Jesus can discriminate, what say any one of us? You know, and discrimination is inherent in all of us in one form or the other. So Jesus discriminated against this lady because she was non-Jewish, and as far as he was concerned, he didn't have any time for her, so he ignored her. But she didn't fall into the category stated in Luke 5:31. Those who are well have no need for a physician. She was simply undeserving. It isn't right to take food from children and throw it to the dogs. That's quite a disparaging statement, and this is how Jesus responded to her. She's pleading for help. Look, my daughter, help to get these demons out of my daughter. And this is his response. You know, you're no more than a dog. He's comparing her to a dog. But even though he compared her to a dog, she was not insulted. So even though he was more or less saying, listen, this is a waste of time and energy, I'm not wasting my time and energy on the likes of you. Really, that's what he's saying. She accepted the lowly status by saying, yes, that is true. But even dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath their master's table, implying that, as reticent as she was, she believed she was entitled to receive God's promise. Jesus couldn't argue with her response. What did he say? He said, dear woman, your faith is great and your request is granted. And her daughter was immediately healed. The Gentile woman stood on the promise in Matthew 7:7. Ask and it shall be given. She believed in her worth and that she was entitled to have her request granted, even if Jesus was unable to dedicate himself 100% because she was non-Jewish. She believed that whatever he could give her, despite that, would be enough. On the surface, it might appear that it is a waste of time to ask for anything because of our race, our culture, our colour. But we soon realise that this scripture is about recognising our worth as individuals, and that we are just as entitled and deserving to God's promise as anyone else, as long as we ask in faith and claim in confidence. So you'll find a lot of people, whether it's going for a job or going to try and get a mortgage or whatever it is, we have a lot of people saying, oh, it's a waste of time. They're not going to give it to me because I'm black. They're not going to do this because I'm black. And you'll have a lot of people who feel or who fear that they're not going to receive anything. They're not going to be offered opportunities because of their race, because of their colour. But what this scripture is telling us is that despite your race, despite your colour, despite this Gentile woman being non-Jewish, she did have to plead. It wasn't given to her easily, but she did receive the promise. Her, ask and it shall be given. Her prayer was answered. And so similarly, we have to kind of put ourselves in that position and at least ask, and not just fall at the first hurdle. Some people, they will go for a position, and then because they're turned away, they're like, oh, I'm not going to go again. I don't want the humiliation. I don't want to put myself through that again. And people do that in lots of different situations. Either they don't really want what they're asking for. They might just superficially ask for it, but they don't really want it. But if it's something that you really, really want or really need, you have to be earnest. You can't just ask once and give up. I mean, it's kind of contradictory, because on the one hand, they say when you're asking prayer, you just put the prayer out there and you don't have to ask again. It will be answered. It's like delivering a parcel or mailing an envelope. Once you've put it in the letterbox, you just trust that it's going to reach its destination. It's a bit like that with prayer. But the thing is, with this situation, is that sometimes you have to ask more than once. Sometimes you have to be diligent. If you want something bad enough, you have to fight for it. You have to ask and you have to believe. That woman obviously believed that she was entitled. And she was prepared to say, yes, I know that I'm non-Jewish. She didn't actually say that, but really what she's saying is, I know I'm non-Jewish. I know I'm non-deserving. I know that I don't believe in what you believe in. But yeah, I'm a human being. I'm entitled to have at least something from you. You're able to help all of these people. Surely you can help me, just one more person. That's what she was really saying, in my opinion. So likewise, there will be lots of people out there who are going to benefit from opportunities, and you might feel as though you're not deserving, but you are. You just have to ask in confidence and believe in faith that you're entitled to what you are entitled to. So many of us, we do not want to go the extra mile. So many of us do not want to claim what we're entitled to. We're scared. We don't want to be rejected. So we hold back and we lose opportunities. So many of us don't want to go the extra mile. Why not? What have you got to lose? And yet, those who do, you'll look at them and say, oh, I wish I did that. Oh, I wish I had tried. But you just didn't want to try. You didn't want to try hard enough. So obviously, if you don't want to try hard enough, you don't want it bad enough. But if there is something that you want really, really bad, you do have to put in the work. You can't expect for it to fall in your lap. You do have to insist and believe that you're entitled to it, just like that Gentile woman. And so I thought that I would share this other insight or other interpretation of the scripture with you, because I know that I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who are in this position where they feel as though they're not entitled, or they feel knocked down by so many rejections and they've just given up. But ask and it shall be received. And I always like to bring relationships into this, because everybody is a relationship, whether it's your work colleagues, whether it's your family members. We're all in a relationship, and we all need to get along, and we all need to find ways to get along. But if you believe that that person isn't speaking to you because you're black, or that person isn't speaking to you because you're transgender, or whatever it is, you're not going to get along with anyone. So you have to claim, and you claim with confidence, and you put it out there. Anyway, I'm the Christian Relationship Counsellor. I have a new channel on YouTube. Please subscribe and share if you like my videos. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you are too. And that's all I've got to say for now. Thank you for popping by.